Have you ever looked out at a lawn, a park, or a vast field and wondered, why is grass green? It seems like such a simple, almost childish question, right? But the answer is actually a fascinating journey that combines physics, biology, and even the evolution of our own eyes. It's a story that reveals how the world isn't just what it is, but what we perceive it to be. So, let's start with the grass itself. Deep inside every blade of grass, and in most other plants too, there are tiny molecules of a pigment called chlorophyll. The word itself comes from Greek, chloros meaning green, and phylon meaning leaf. This stuff is absolutely vital for the plant's survival. Think of chlorophyll as the plant's personal solar panel and chef all rolled into one. It's the key ingredient for a process you probably remember from school, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is how plants eat. They take in sunlight, water from the ground, and carbon dioxide from the air, and they use this combination to create chemical energy sugars, which are their food. This process is the foundation of most life on Earth. It produces the oxygen we breathe and the food that nearly every food chain depends on. And chlorophyll is the engine that drives it all. But how does this make the grass green? To understand that, we need to talk about light. The sunlight that shines down on us isn't just one color. It's a whole rainbow of colors blended together. We call this the visible spectrum. It includes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet light. Each color is just a different wavelength of light. When this sunlight hits a blade of grass, the chlorophyll molecules get to work. They are incredibly good at absorbing certain colors of light, specifically the light in the red and blue parts of the spectrum. They soak up the energy from these red and blue wavelengths and use it to power the chemical reactions of photosynthesis. It's like they selectively picking the most energy-rich parts of the sunlight buffet to fuel their growth. But here's the crucial part. While chlorophyll is a champion at absorbing red and blue light, it's not very good at absorbing green light. It's almost as if the green light just doesn't fit into its energy capturing machinery. So what happens to this leftover green light? It doesn't get absorbed. Instead, most of it gets reflected away. It bounces right off the surface of the leaf. Some of it is also transmitted, meaning it passes straight through. And that's the physical reason why grass is green. The object itself, the blade of grass, has the physical property of reflecting light with wavelengths in the green part of the spectrum. When that reflected green light travels from the grass and enters your eye, your brain processes that signal and tells you, hey, that thing you're looking at is green. It's kind of a funny paradox, isn't it? The color we see a plant as is the one color of light it doesn't want or can't use. If a plant were perfectly efficient and could absorb every single color of light equally well, what color would it be? It would appear black because no light would be reflected back to our eyes. So part one of the answer is complete. Grass is green because its chlorophyll reflects green light while absorbing red and blue light for energy. But that's only half the story. The other half has nothing to do with the grass itself and everything to do with us, the observers. The physical reflection of green light is just one part of the equation. The actual experience of seeing the color green happens entirely inside our heads. This brings us to the fascinating world of human perception. How do our eyes and brain work together to create the rich tapestry of colors we see every day? Inside your eye, on the retina at the back, you have millions of specialized cells. There are rods, which help you see in low light, but for color, we need to talk about the cones. Most humans have 3 types of color-sensing cone cells. Think of them as 3 different types of sensors, each tuned to a different part of the light spectrum. We have short wavelength cones, which are most sensitive to blue light. We have long wavelength cones, which are most sensitive to red light. And crucially for our story, we have medium wavelength cones, which are most sensitive to, you guessed it, green light. When the green light reflected from the grass enters your eye, it primarily stimulates these green-sensitive medium wavelength cones. The red and blue cones aren't very excited by this light. Your brain then receives these signals, a strong signal from the green cones. and weak signals from the red and blue cones. It analyzes this ratio of signals and interprets it as the specific sensation we call the color green. Color isn't a property of the object itself. It's a perception, a construction of our brain based on the data it receives from our eyes. The grass isn't painted green. It just reflects light that our brains decide to label as green. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Why are our eyes so good at seeing green? The human eye is actually most sensitive to light right in the green-yellow part of the spectrum. We have more of these green-sensitive cones, and they are tuned with incredible precision. This is no accident. It's a product of our evolutionary history. Imagine our early human ancestors living in lush, vegetated environments like forests or savannas. Being able to see subtle variations in the color green would have been a massive survival advantage. It would help you distinguish between different types of plants, which ones are edible, which are poisonous. It would help you spot a ripe fruit hiding amongst the leaves. A slight change in the shade of green could indicate a plant is young and nutritious or old and dying. It was also critical for spotting things that weren't green. A flash of orange and black in a sea of green could be a predator, like a tiger. A patch of brown moving through the undergrowth could be prey. Our sensitivity to green makes other colors stand out in stark contrast. So our visual system evolved to become experts at decoding the green world around us. This also highlights the subjective nature of color. What we see as a vibrant green lawn would look completely different to another animal. Take your dog, for example. Dogs are dichromatic, which means they only have two types of cone cells, corresponding roughly to our blue and red cones. They lack the green-sensitive cone. So, when a dog looks at that same patch of grass, it can't perceive the color green as we do. The light is still being reflected in the same way, but their brain interprets the signals differently. To a dog, the world is painted in shades of yellow, blue, and gray. That bright green grass would probably look like a dull, yellowish-brown field to them. They see the same physical reality, but have a completely different sensory experience. Bees, on the other hand, can see ultraviolet light, which is invisible to us. A flower that looks plain yellow to us might have intricate patterns in ultraviolet that guide the bee to the nectar. They are perceiving a layer of reality that is completely hidden from our view. So, to bring it all together, let's revisit our original question. Why is grass green? The answer is twofold. First, from a physical standpoint, grass contains chlorophyll, which absorbs red and blue light for photosynthesis and reflects the green light it cannot use. That's the objective reality. Second, from a perceptual standpoint, that reflected green light enters our eyes and stimulates a specific set of cone cells. Our brain then interprets this specific stimulation as the subjective experience of the color green, an experience fine-tuned by millions of years of evolution to help us survive in a world filled with plants. The grass has the property of reflecting green light, but the color green itself is a beautiful illusion created by the human brain. The next time you see a field of green, take a moment to appreciate the complex dance between physics and biology. Between the leaf and your own mind, that makes that simple, wonderful experience possible. It's a great reminder that what we perceive as reality is always filtered through our own unique sensory equipment. It makes you wonder what other layers of reality are out there, just waiting for the right kind of eyes to see them. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this little dive into the science of color, be sure to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.